Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are today. My name is Jen Hurd. I am the West Coast Sales Manager for Genuine Origin. Thank you so much for taking an hour out of your day to join us with our team from Peru, as well as some of our New York team. So, first things first, we're going to do a few intros. So like I said, I'm Jen. I am the West Coast Sales Manager. I am located in Portland, Oregon. And Javier, you're up next.
Thank you very much, Jen. I am Javier Chavez, and I'm the commercial manager for Volcafe Peru. I talk to you from Lima.
Thank you for joining us. All right, Mauricio, you're next.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Mauricio Jimenez. I am the General Manager at Genuine Origin and Volcafe Specialty. I work with the team in Peru for 2 years, a long time ago, and I was in charge of sustainability and quality for our operation in Lima. So thank you guys for joining us and accepting to talk to us about Peru.
And now all of you know, whenever Jay and Cindy and I talk about the boss, now you know who we're talking about. Thank you.
Jen. Thank you, Jen.
All right, Harry, you are next.
Hi, how are you, everyone? I'm Harry. I am the manager of the operation here in Peru. I hope we can give you a good explanation of what we are trying to do here within the country and within coffee. A lot of you, I've been in coffee for a long period of time, so a lot of you, we know each other. And again, maybe in a Costa Rican way, not necessarily in a Peruvian way. So again, we hope we can give you good knowledge of what we're trying to do here. And thanks very much to the team of Go to give us the opportunity to participate on such a nice activity.
Thank you so much, Harry. And John, you are next.
Thanks, Jen. Good morning to all. My name is John Grillo. Now I am the Sustainability Project Manager working here in Peru. So thanks and enjoy this time.
Thank you so much, John. And last but never least, Rob.
Hi, everyone. Rob Solkow, Digital Marketing Manager at Genuine Origin. Thanks for being here, Volcafe Peru team. Pleasure to have you, and I'm looking forward to learning more about the operations there.
Thanks, Rob. So real quick rundown, we're going to have a brief PowerPoint presentation, and then we're going to get into some discussion about the operation in Peru and what roasters can expect this year and what's been going on. We will, as always, have a couple of polls that will pop up, so please participate in those. And you also have the option to submit a question in the Q&A, and we will either get to those as they fit into the conversation, and we may hold some of those until the end, so do be patient. And otherwise, that's pretty much it for today. So and again, huge thank you to our team in Peru for taking the time to put together all of this info and take an hour and a half out of their day to hang out with us. So why don't we go ahead, and I'm going to hand things over for the presentation.
Okay, thanks very much, guys. The idea is to go through the country first and then try to arrange a little bit the ideas towards coffee and then towards Volcafe in Peru. Let's go ahead and get started. A little bit of information in terms of Peru. We have our president, who's Martin Vizcarra. Religion and languages, main religion is Catholic. Spanish is our main language. We also have Quechua. Population about 31 people, probably half of it already with COVID, but because things are getting a little bit heavy here, but we're working on that. Unemployment and exchange rate about 9%. 3.5 soles per dollar. Basically, the economy is doing quite good, has been doing quite good during the last 12 years. We have been growing at rates between 6 and 8%. I think this year, just like very many other countries, we will be on the negative levels. But indeed, it's been quite wonderful years before that. So very powerful country in general, at least on the economic side. Coffee production in general in Peru, as you can see in the dark green, we see where the coffee is being produced all over the country, from top, all the way from the top to the bottom. That's what we call la ceja de selva. Okay, it's clear because all the Andes are within this line also. So elevations from going from 800 meters all the way to 2,000 meters is where coffee is being grown, from the pretty much the Atlantic side, because it's already on the right side of the Andes. A lot of the production comes from Junín. Then the rest comes from Cajamarca, San Martin, Amazonas, and Cusco. There are three main regions, as you can see to your right on the screen. One is the coast, the highlands, and the Amazonian forest. These three regions are very, very well separated in the country and very clearly marked. Again, the jungle is where most of the food is produced. La Sierra is higher elevations than 2,000 meters, and the coast is the desert area. I would like to mention something about the desert area. The desert area is not just so much of a desert. You can grow there with a little bit of water. You can grow there artichokes, asparagus, even corn, all kinds of products. So it is marvelous. Not only you can take advantage in Peru from the jungle, but you can also take advantage of the desert. This is marvelous. Coffee is being also grown a little bit in the north, in the northern region right here, and on the Pacific side, which is the other side. We'll continue a little bit further, tell you a little bit about Volcafe in Peru. What are we doing? We have operations all over the country, as you can see, of a total of 7 offices. One in the north, starting by number 1 with San Ignacio. Then the third one is in San Martin, in the area of Moyobamba. Lovely coffees, all these in the north. Then you have it, number 2, which is our second largest office, which is in Jaén. It's also a new mill. We have a new operation there. And in the center, we have in position number 4, which is Villarrica. Number 5 is Pangoa. Number 6 is Pichanaki. Number 7 is our main office in Lima. So we have the possibility to send all the coffee from the center to the north, process it in the north, and ship it through Paita. Or we have the possibility to take all the coffee from the north, ship it to the south, send it to the south by truck, and ship it through El Callao. This gives us a lot of flexibility. We have 2 plants again, one in the north and one in the center. So plenty of flexibility there to work with. We have a total of 26 field technicians. This is also very, very important for the type of work that we are doing in the fields. Quality team, we have a total of 7 labs in Volcafe Peru, 1 in every office. We have a total of 11 working coppers exclusively for the labs. That is not accounting for the assistants that within the crop come in and help complement whatever the rest of the team are doing. Quality control depends directly on ourselves here, management, basically. So we separate that from production. That is very important from the commercial side. Very difficult also to separate, of course, but that's the way it is. And then we, of course, have a new protocol, COVID protocol for cupping. Actually, I'm getting good at that because I've been cupping for the last, 25 years, 30 years, and suddenly I need to change spoons and go move back and forth from here to there. It's been quite a nice experience to learn a new methodology for cupping. Moving forward, this is very important. And let me sum it up. I only have two more slides to go, but these are the real meat of where we want to move. Volcafe, we have been working with Volcafe for the last 8 years. And what we are trying to do here in Peru, or what we have been trying to do here in Peru, is to differentiate our product. We cannot compete with Brazil, definitely in cost. So we're trying to differentiate our product by providing something different, exactly that. And we're trying to do it with our 3 pillars. One of them is quality, which is right here. The other one is sustainability, which is the second part. And then the third one is loyalty, all right? So we have quality, sustainability, and loyalty, which is part of customer service, by the way. So quality, we all know what it is to provide whatever the client is looking for in terms of the acidity, the body, and the different characteristics of the coffee. we have the ability to produce coffees and to buy coffees from 900 all the way to 2,000 meters above sea level. Sustainability. Sustainability, we have been working with sustainability for the last 8 years. And suddenly, Volcafe Way came in, and it organized us very well in a way where we now can control exactly what's happening with all our producers. We have a total of about 3,500 producers as of today. And we are working with them. We have been working with them for the last 7 years. Again, Volcafe Way just organized us very well. And finally, loyalty. Well, what good does it do if we have quality and we have sustainability, but at the end, the coffee is not being delivered to us, okay? So these are the 3 pillars to whatever we are doing here in Peru. And that is very basic and very important. Now, if we combine that with a cluster, for instance, what I mean by a cluster is a group of producers. We have already 3 or 4 clusters here in Peru, which are working marvelously well. We have been doing, the first one was started 5 years ago, I'm sorry, with one specific roaster who came to us and say, look, these 140 producers from this region, we're gonna keep them and we're gonna buy all of the coffee from them from now onwards in the future for the next 10 years. And we're working on that. It's been great. So the cluster consists on the following. It consists on producing again the same desirable product that we saw on the previous on the previous slide, and with the same pillars: quality, sustainability, and long-term loyalty. Now, the cluster itself, going into deep, goes into field intervention. So we have technicians that are going into the fields, and this is being funded by ourselves and the roaster. And the field intervention is go out and provide more information to producers to do a better job. Peru is very primitive, if I may say it that way, in terms of coffee growing, unlike Colombia, who's very well advanced in terms of coffee production, or Costa Rica, who's very well advanced in coffee processing. And what we are trying to do is bringing all this information from these countries and putting it here in Peru. And do a quick follow-up, of course, on that every year. And that's exactly what we're doing. Processing is also included into these clusters and into these quality and sustainability issues. Finally, we have the technical intervention and the capacity building. We also have funds to provide producers with new drying beds if needed. Now, on the commercial intervention, it is indeed about price. Loyalty, how do you get loyalty? Well, through this support, which is the left side in the field, and also through the price support, of course. And then we have Trackvia, which is Volcafe way of managing and monitoring through a system. That's what it is. And again, and I keep on saying this, Trackvia and Volcafe way was a great complement to whatever we were doing originally. We have been working with Volcafe way for the last, I believe, 4 years already, or 5 years, maybe more. So that's our quick presentation. That's our quick ideas that we have, and we can move forward from them in terms of a nice question and answer or presentation or comments that you may have. Please go ahead, Jen.
That's a great and a perfect segue. Real quick, Rob's going to throw up our first poll, and then from there, the farm clusters, I think, is a really interesting place to start. And so you talked about how there are a few of those. Are they all? Is it all geographic related, or are there other requirements around the clusters? Like, is it, hey, specific varieties or specific qualities? Like, how do you determine what those clusters look like?
Okay, clusters are pretty much by areas or by zones, depending on whatever the client is looking for. Okay, we have the tools to provide that all over the country. As you could see in the map, we are all over the country. What we're trying to look at is a quality and a volume. That's what's most important first, to make a decision on where do we want to move, all right? So depending on the quality that the client's looking for, we will move north or we will move south. And depending on the quantity of volume that they're looking for, or the volume that they're looking for, then we'll move again into the different regions, okay? That's pretty much the way it works.
Cool, thank you.
Answered the question.
No, you totally did. It's a concept we haven't heard about from a lot of our other sister operations, so it's something I was curious about. And I know the one thing that we all want to talk about, y'all have heard me say a million times, part of what brought me to Genuine Origin was Volcafe Way, and the former social worker in me being really excited about a way to feel good about the coffees that I was working with, and roasters having that ability as well. So sustainable profitability. Let's talk about what that looks like in Peru, and what kind of things that Volcafe Way is doing to help producers find ways to be profitable.
That's probably one of the toughest, let's say, variables that we have every day, daily living, pretty much, which is making it a profitable business, right? Part of being sustainable is not just producing efficiently, and not just producing the best, and not just producing a product which the client is looking for, but also to be economical, sustainable, right? What we are working with, specifically Volcafe Way, has helped us a lot in terms of the efficiency in the farms, meaning lowering costs and controlling the costs. That is key to whatever we are doing. If we cannot control our costs, which is typical. Producers, you go out and you see them working, and suddenly you don't know what it costs them to plant these new hectare that they have. And they just don't understand it. They don't see it. They don't follow it, okay? So it is key for us to first control the costs. Once we control the costs, then you can start working on differentiating our product to get the very best of the prices. And not just to get the very best of the prices today, and this is key, but also to get a reasonable price within the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 years. And that is key to a cluster. Because not necessarily every year we want to pay the very best price, but we want to pay a sustainable price, which is above, of course, our cost of production, and also continued through 4 or 5 years. And then you got to go out and grab all these producers that think as you do, that they follow that trend, that they follow that logic, that they follow that understanding, and they go, yeah, let's do it this way. And that's when you start building this loyalty that we're talking about here. But I'm talking a little bit too much. Maybe Javier and John can help us a little bit with more ideas, okay?
Thanks, Harry. No, I just wanted to add that especially that sustainable profitability shows its value in a situation like the one we're in today, where the market has been, the price has been depressed for a long time. And so those who have believed and walked with us for this time and have been realizing some of those gains, find themselves seeing that the market doesn't offer the best price historically, but still they are making, you know, more than just a living. They're making progress, and I think that's ultimately the result that we as Volcafe Peru want to drive further. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing on our end that we deal with a lot of different roasters, but people want to know that they're not just buying the cheapest coffee for the sake of it. You know, they want to know where their money is going and what that's doing. So thank you. Yeah.
When I was in Peru working with Harry in the field with the producers 24/7, you know, we were never able to guarantee the maximum price every single day. But what we always told the producers was, you know, I can guarantee you that if you follow Volcafe Way's methodology, I can get you to reduce your cost and increase your productivity. So you are going to make double the money. And that is achievable for almost 100% of the Peruvian producers, because the biggest issue is probably productivity, even today.
Jen. Yes. So if I summarize this, so to achieve the profitability in farmers, we go with three roots, if I can say it. One of them is productivity, no? Another is price with quality, and the other is management, farm management, no? But we come back again with cluster.
Mm-hmm.
This profitability cannot be success if we don't involve the roasters, because it's part important of this group. So cluster plus Volcafe way plus the source or supply chain management is key to achieve our goals quickly, fastest, or something like that. No, so it's important.
Well, yeah, because at the end of the day, that's who's going to buy the coffee. So we need to make sure that there's some communication through there. Cool. Thank you. So I know when we were talking before and looking through some data that you sent over, there was also info about a scholarship program for farmers. Can you talk a little more about that and how that works?
That's a social project. We have two different types of projects on that. One of them is on the line of teaching, which is scholarships. We have one roaster specifically from Australia, I'm sorry, that is helping us and providing some kind of amount of financing for scholarships for these guys to go out and have agronomy careers. I think, John, you know a little bit more detail on that, but in general, it is an agronomist career, and they're funding it so that they can eventually work with us as technicians. That is one set of projects. The other set of projects is building schools. We have been building already, I think it's 14 or 13, if I'm wrong, 13 or 14 schools. We've invested in the last 5 years, and I think Mauricio was involved in these ones also, in some the very first ones, right? Maybe not, I don't know.
Yes, Harry, I was involved in Masaronchiari, Chuquibambilla.
Yes, that's right. We inaugurated Masaronchiari together.
Yes, I did.
So it's been like 5 or 6 years on where we've invested a total of about $1.8 million, literally, on new schools. And these are lovely projects. I always see my daughters on these projects, my two daughters, you know, I brought them over and see them there. And it's just social projects combined with roasters also. This is all related to roasters. And going back to the clusters, we have a cluster. We have, again, like I mentioned, several clusters. And let me mention two examples of how it's working. One of them is working through differential. So we set up a differential that we believe is going to be sustainable for that specific year. And the other one's even better. The other one is a cost plus. So if we don't want to make 2 cents, we tell them these are our costs. We just make 2 cents, 1 cent, whatever we agreed on. And they even have access. Let me tell you this. They even have access to our daily purchases from our system. They can go out and see whatever we're buying from every producer from within the cluster on a daily basis. And you were mentioning, Jen, about how to transfer all this information and this transparency to producers. I'm sorry, to roasters. And this is exactly the way to do it properly. I mean, look, when we talk every week, when we talk to these people from the roasting side and the clusters, we open up and we tell them, look, this is the problems we're living today. These are the good things that we're working on. We should suggest this price. And they go on and tell us, let's go out and let's pay a little bit more because you are correct. We need to move further because our competitors are paying so much that we cannot be there, okay? So it is about, not just about transparency, but it's also about being there at the market, in the market with the producer and giving them a proper price for their product. When I say proper, I really mean proper. I don't want them to become millionaire within 1 year and 2 years, just like we do not get millionaire within 1 year and 2, but sustainable year after year. Make just that much for you to be okay and perhaps go to the beach whenever we go for just 1 year and then keep on working. Well, with COVID, we're going nowhere. That's a fact, but we're trying to arrange ourselves or rearrange ourselves to the new normal, okay? But that's the idea. And that's what we have been trying to do. And that's what we have been doing for the last 4 or 5 years.
So you just mentioned COVID, you know, and I wanted to see if we could address that and see what's going on in Peru with COVID. You know, some of our sister companies have mentioned that their countries have really gotten behind them and behind the coffee industry. Is that true for Peru? And if not, how has Peru been handling the situation?
Javier?
Yeah. So the country, yeah, we were one of the first to agree on a national level to do a lockdown, strict lockdown. Of course, being a developing country has many challenges, and perhaps the result that we all wanted to get after more than 3 months in a strict quarantine did not come to light, but the effort was still put. So we are having a big impact because of COVID. It's mainly tied to the reality that a lot of people don't have anywhere to store food for a long time. So we had permission to go out to do essential tasks like buying groceries. So people often have to go out every day or every couple of days to do their groceries, and as a result, so the impact of the quarantine was less than ideal, and so as the country has after 3 months now we're reopening in the main cities um, in a structured way. So there are plans in place. So specific industries can open at specific times and until specific times. But um, a lot of people went back to the provinces and to the town where they're from, and as a result, now the spread in the field is increasing. So while cities are reopening, in the field now we're seeing a higher level of contagion and of impact. That is well, it's very complicated because the public services may not be up to with a big capacity, and
Like
so
testing a hospital out
yeah,
in a rural area would
it's very delicate. So I think the government definitely has been doing a good job leading with awareness campaigns and giving out guidelines that we have definitely adopted and tried our best to go above and beyond so that we can generate trust in the countryside with the producers so that they know that there are ways in which in a very orderly way you can sell your coffee safely without any risk of being harmed. So maybe John can help us a bit more with our efforts with the producers.
Yes, thanks, Javier. So COVID-19, it's a huge problem to all the countries. No, and it's not easy. It is not different for us also. So we in the last 4 months, so the farmer fear, it's heavy. It's huge. So the coffee activity, the coffee business is normal that in these times from April to September, some people from the high mountains move to this jungle or to the rainforest to do the picking, to do some manpower in the coffee farm. So this situation now causes some lack of manpower in the farmer side. So we see some problems in the picking. We are seeing some problems in the cherry. So in this effort, we try to give a lot of information to the farmers. So through the phone, through the message with text. No, so it's important for us to give the information to the farmer that what is the situation that we are happen now and how we can improve. No, so in the part of projects, we implement some small projects that we deliver to the farmers, some kits, safety kits. we improve with protocols. So we are with our team. So we say to our team at the moment that we need to move to the farmer. We need to share how we are respect with these protocols. No? So it's important for us to give information and try to deliver confidence to the farmers that this situation it's a huge impact for all, but we need to develop more things to give not only knowledge about COVID. In projects, in sustainability project, we are trying to understand how we can move the knowledge from Volcafe way to this farmer. So maybe some radios, some small calls with flyers, with posters. So we try to do or move more to the digitalization. So it's important, and we understand that this situation it was a good trigger to move and try to move fast than we planned before. No?
Okay. Okay.
And if I may add a couple of comments to Javier and John's comments very quickly here. And as I hear you speaking, one of our pillars should have been how to work together with COVID, because that's what we have been trying to do in the last 4 months. How do we make it happen? We have two goals. One goal basically, which is be below the world's average and Peruvian average within our company of positives. We are at a rate of about 6% of all the tests that we've done, and we've tested pretty much everyone, which is way below Peruvian average, and it is way below the country, and the world's average. So one of the comments, well, other than the protocols that we have been placing in our plants and in our offices, we have been going out to the fields, just like John said. We have been using a lot of technology on the fields. But let me just very quickly tell you one comment that you keep on hearing from the producers, and this is key to whatever we are doing in the future and how the coffee flows. The producers tell you all the time, well, look, in my last 70 years that I've been living, in my last 60 years that I have living, I have never died because of not selling or delivering coffee. But from a virus, I will die. So that tells you everything. And that summarizes really much how 70 or 80%, this is a number just out of my head, out of 70 or 80% of the producers think on every day. We had a bank closed just yesterday. The main bank in Jaén, one of the regions where we buy coffee, was closed yesterday because of COVID. And the other bank was already closed 2 weeks ago. So now how do we manage to get money to producers? So we are reinventing ourselves. This is very exciting and very good within all the good things that we can think of, not the bad things, please. Forget about the bad things, of course. Let's look at the brighter side of everything. So it's good, new challenges every day on how to think, how to get the money, how to work, make the coffee flow, how to bring in the coffee. They already closed the region, how to bring that coffee from the different regions, okay? Again, sorry, I'm extending myself too much. Please go ahead.
Sounds like an immense challenge. Mauricio?
Yeah, I can just imagine how you can think of training producers, because our methodology has always been, we go, we visit them, we work together with them, we invite them to the model farms. And, this is the way that we have been improving productivity and improving the quality. Harry and Javier, the last time that I was in Peru, which was almost 1 year ago, I was very, very excited to see that you guys were finally sourcing coffee in cherries, which is something that we have been talking about in Peru for probably 10 years or more. It's like probably the best way and the easiest way to improve the quality. So my question to you is like, what motivated Pro del Sur to finally make that decision? Obviously, how are the results in terms of quality, price for producers, productivity, and last but very important, when are we going to be able to see some of those qualities at genuine origin?
Thanks, Mauricio. I mean, the experience has been great. It's definitely an area we want to move towards. One of the, I mean, there is a challenge. The main challenge is changing the mentality at the producer level. Everybody's accustomed to processing their coffee in their farm and then selling in parchment. Now, obviously, sometimes there are challenges with the weather. Peru, the coffee in Peru is rain-fed, is not irrigated. And so sometimes the weather patterns will not be supportive towards drying practices for a lot of people. So unless you are, fortunate enough to have a space to sun dry, you may have a challenge with that. So going to cherry and sourcing cherry and working with the producer to move in that direction is beneficial for everyone. Like, they can trust in us from an earlier stage in their process, so that we can assist with our experience and our capacity to handle that process for them, and ultimately results in a much higher quality. There is more control, quality control, and as a result, more consistency. And so the experience has been great. We are trying to expand to the north as well in that direction, but it takes time to convince people and producers to work in that way after they have been working for very long in a different way.
Complementing what Javier just said, yes, it's a totally new world working with cherries, and it's another lovely challenge. Our experience has been great, but it has been great just because specifically one of these projects is related to one of these clusters. And it's been lovely to see how you can control the quality. I've lived in Costa Rica for several years. I know how Costa Rica works in terms of milling, and coming to Peru and not seeing that, it's a loss. It is a real loss, because quality, you have a great control out of it. You have a homogeneous quality, and that makes it happen very well, rather than drying it in a way that producer A does it, and a different way that producer B does it. Then you blend that, is never the same result, never. So great challenge, number one. Number two, great advantage in terms of quality. Now, the challenges are also not what I just mentioned, but also the mentality of the producer indeed. Producer not only wants to process their coffee just because of the fun of it, but they want to keep it in their small room so they can sell it whenever they feel that it is the right time to do it. Peruvian producers are very keen into keeping their coffee in their houses. They can keep it for as long as 6 months, 7 months, 8 months without a problem. They can live off of their garden every day, and they will sell one bag to pay the school of their children, which, by the way, today they're not going to school, so they're keeping all the coffees in their warehouses. That's why there's such a little flow today. Okay, so that's one of the large challenge, and the other big challenge is the logistic. The logistic is Peru is huge. It's humongous. You know, moving from one place to the other with a big truck and cherry costs a lot of money. So we have to think of small milling, cherry milling stations everywhere in different regions, okay? But again, to summarize it, great experience, and we're moving forward, like Javier just said, especially towards the north. Again, status quo is status quo, and we need to work that. It won't happen from day to night.
Yes, Mauricio, if I can add some good point also is that sustainability, because control the honey water, control the use of water in the process, it's key, and it's very linked with our pillars and our goals. Also, it's important to us to motivate the farmers that receive more money, because if we have wet machines calibrated, we are going to obtain better quality, better yields, no? And then we also reduce the impact in that environment. So this is one good point.
Thank you, guys. Wonderful. Yeah, definitely. I'm excited, and I would love to see some of that coffee coming for Genuine Origin, because we definitely want to benefit from that consistency. Yeah, that's for sure is very exciting for us and for our customers. Peru is a very important component of the blends, and we want to make sure that we have the best coffee when our customers need it.
Absolutely.
So Pro del Sur also made a big investment in the north, and obviously I live in Jaén for almost 2 years. Thank you, Harry, for that. And I was very happy there, and we were already thinking of building the plant in Jaén. When I was there, we finally finished the project last year. So, a lot of people who haven't been to Peru and who are not familiar with the country, they don't understand the importance that Jaén and San Ignacio and the north in general is gaining in Peru. And a lot of people who have been in this business for many years, they still remember Villarrica and the Chanchamayo region. So can you guys explain our audience a little bit about why the north is so important? Why did we decide to make such a large investment, and what has been the impact that you see in our relationship with the suppliers, just because we have great infrastructure and because we are making all these investments in the field to be as close as possible to them?
Thanks, Mauricio. I mean, we've throughout our years, as you well know, we've had a presence in Cajamarca, and it's indeed growing in importance because it's mainly where production is increasing, and it's where many of the higher elevations are found in terms of coffee production, and that has an impact in quality. And so it's very important because it's becoming a more relevant source of higher quality coffees and higher productivity year on year. Although unfortunately the last years, given the low prices, the production has been impacted. That's one result of having low prices for such a long time. And so, but looking beyond that, it's having invested that and has been it's our doubling down really in our commitment with our coffee producers in Cajamarca, and a sign of the long-term thinking we have with the region and with the country. Yeah, so it's gonna continue to grow, and hopefully with the help of higher prices, the production will continue to increase as well.
So Javier, I wanted to jump in. We had a question from the audience about organic coffees. Genuine Origin hasn't always carried Peru organics, but we do see a lot of Peru organics on the market. What Genuine Origin tends to do is get Volcafe Way coffees from Peru. Can you talk a little bit about why we see more Volcafe Way coffees coming out of Peru than organic coffees? Why we're different than other companies?
Yeah. Thanks, Rob. This comes back to our pillars. Again, the pillars are the foundation of how we see our business. It's about profitability, sustainable profitability. Volcafe Way is geared towards sustainable profitability. So organic production not necessarily helps the farmer to have a consistent production year on year, and is more exposed to in the most simple way to pests and lower productivity in terms of quintales per hectare. And so our focus in Volcafe Way is really meant to boost those areas because it's what we believe has a longer lasting effect in the profitability of the farmer and in long-term thinking. Ultimately, and it's an experience that perhaps Harry can elaborate a little bit more about. In 2011 and 2012, Peru was hit hard by the Roya, an outbreak of Roya, and because of the extent of
disease.
Correct, the leaf rust, and so because of these. Because of the dominance of the organic production, there was a big drop in production as a result, and so Volcafe Way it wants to make sure that producers are in the best possible way armed to be strong through year on year through production quality and as a result their well-being.
Well, yeah, Javier, thanks for your comments. In general, the way we look at it is we want to be sustainable with whatever we do. If it's organic, if it's rainforest, if it's whatever seal you want to call it, which by the way, we have them all. We are working with all the seals combined with the Volcafe Way. And yes, Peru has been the largest organic provider of coffee within the last, I believe, 25 years or more, in coffee specifically. Now, having said sustainability, how do we make organic sustainable? And that's key. And we really need to answer as a roaster or as a trader or as a producer that question. And I'm going to tell you just the following, and then you guys can sleep on it. You know, if we go to production of organic, how much production do we get typically from a normal one? We get half. That's what the statistics say. All right. So what should be the price? By logic, should be twice as much as the price that you are paying for the normal coffee or for the conventional coffee. So having said that, we as roasters, are we willing to pay just that much more? We as traders, are we willing to trade for 1 cent or 2 cents that coffee? Are producers really willing to produce that organic at that level within that price? It is possible. It is more than possible. We have been doing it. We have been trying to do it. In fact, we are working with Volcafe Way in 2 or 3 different regions. John has it with Carlos Ortiz, on see how best we can produce organic coffee in a very sustainable way. Okay, so yes, we are believers of organic. I am more believer of an organic combined with not just the field, but also about the great livelihood of the producer, the great livelihood of the trader, the great livelihood of the of the roaster at the end. So yes, organic is part of the sustainability, but it's not all. There's a lot more to it. All right, we need to work on that.
Yeah.
So in fact, I think I forgot the original question, but I hope we answered it.
Thank you,
Yes.
Harry, and thank you, Javier. Guys, something that is also very important to mention is that as Volcafe Way, we don't want to duplicate efforts. A lot of the producers that are organic, they are already organized in cooperatives because they are also fair trade organic, because that is where the bulk of the organic market is. So as Volcafe Way, we are trying to help the producers that need it the most. And those are usually the independent producers with low productivity, high production cost, and low quality. So when we go to these communities, and in order to be organic, and I'm not sure if everybody knows this, you have to go through a transition period. This transition period takes 3 years. So you are already in a bad situation, low productivity, high cost of production, and then I am forcing you to move into an organic system of production where you are gonna initially lose productivity because you are going to stop using some inputs, fertilizers mainly, and then I am only going to be able to pay you an organic premium in 3 years from now. So that's basically the reason why Volcafe Way is not focused on converting producers to organic agriculture. We obviously will support the associations, and as Javier was saying, we work in different regions with organic producers to try to increase the productivity further, but these are producers that are already organic certified today, and we are just helping them to minimize the use of resources, improve the quality, and improve the productivity as well.
This is why if I had a Facebook relationship with third-party certifications, it's complicated. It's just, there's so much to it. It can't just boil down to a sticker. Thank you everybody for all of this info. This has been, I think, really eye-opening for a lot of roasters probably, because it's like, we always see Peru in the lineup. It's there. But do we actually know that much about what's going on and the work being done? So we're getting low on time. So I have to ask the less altruistic questions, which are, what can we expect for this year's harvest? How are cuppings going? Are there coffees you're excited about? What can Genuine Origin roasters look for in this year and the next? Y'all are muted.
Thanks, Jen. So no, I mean, in fact, we have recently in the last week shipped coffee for you. So what we're seeing, the quality, despite all the difficult situation, the quality is remaining solid. It's actually improved from last year, and that's, I mean, the producers that are contributing to that coffee are at the very top of our best producers. So the quality, I'm very confident you're all gonna enjoy it very much. And again, it's a matter of knowing that it's a coffee which is contributing to solid and positive impact in the field year on year. And so while we can see it for this year that it's coming, it's also thinking, okay, this is long term. It's going to be increasing both in quality and impact.
That's awesome. Quick side note, there's going to be another poll. Please stick around for that. But yeah, I feel like the coffees we've been getting from Peru historically are very, and I'm so glad you brought up consistent, because I think the coffees we've been getting from Peru have been very consistent. It's lots of really great options for cold brew, or that like sweet medium full body blend component, or a nice bright citrusy single origin option. So I have to mention, some of you might have noticed that one of our Peru Capili sold out, but if you check the Afloat page on the Go website, you will see we have organic Chasqui and Capili afloat and arriving soon. And we do have a conventional Chasqui in stock now as well. So we've got you covered. If you're stressing about the Capili, there will be more. And there's that poll. Thank you, Rob. So I think this is last call for any questions or any final comments from our team here. It's been a real pleasure and very enlightening, and I'm so grateful that you were able to join us.
May I make one last comment? Sorry.
Yes, please.
Quality.
Yes.
I've cupped and lived through a lot of cupping, and Peru is a country that has basically 5 different countries within one country, 5 different cultures within one country, and it has very many qualities. And one of the best coffees that I've cupped comes from Peru, from the northern region, grown at levels of 1,900 to 2,000 meters above sea level. And I've cupped Costa Ricans a lot, Colombians a lot, all over. And I'm from Costa Rica. Nevertheless, I have to say that Peruvian coffees are probably better than Costa Ricans. Sorry, Costa Ricans. I'm Costa Rican.
Ooh, fighting words.
I fully agree.
And I'm saying just Costa Ricans because that's the one I was more related to.
Next time.
But there are other countries that also have that disadvantage. And the thing is, it of course has to do with the variety, and it has to do with the conditions, right? But what I'm trying to say here is that we have everything here to grow whatever we want, from a lower quality type to the very best type that we can grow in this country. We have everything. The environment is there to do it. The conditions are there to do it. So having said that, what's going to happen this year? It's a little bit tough. Situation that we're living with COVID is, yes, the flow is very, very limited, very extremely limited. I mean, look, I just mentioned about the banks being closed, about everything being closed, about no coffee flow. We do see that the quality is good. It's actually very good. I would expect the quality to be okay, just like any other country. Yes, consistency is a key to that. I'm not sure about the flow. That's the only question I would place a question mark there. How is the flow going to happen, and when is it going to happen? All right, in general. So it's not a thing about quality; it's more a thing about the volume coming out. One of the nicest coffees that we grow all the time is the Chonti, and I believe, Mauricio, we had the Chonti 3 years ago or 4 years ago, and it was sold out within whatever, a month or 2 months,
Yeah.
or I don't know how much, and it was very well sold. That's a coffee that you can really suck your fingers on all the time, just anytime you cup it, and it's a combination of Borbones and Caturras at levels of 1900, between 1900 and 2000 meters above sea level. So that was my questions. Again, I want to thank you all for participating on this. Number one, thank you, team from Volcafe, to allowing us to participate on this and sharing some of our experiences from Peru. And I'm sure we will continue to share them all along within the next few years that we're going to be here. So again, appreciate your time, appreciate you helping us and being with us. Thank you very much.